Sesshomaru and Rin, The Silent Soul Love, a SessRin relationship analysis from a spiritual perspective.
Written by Lawless Lane.
The significance of Sesshomaru and Rin's relationship seems to go a lot deeper than most average relationships, as there wasn't much of a surface level connection between the two of them. For that reason, I find their relationship to be most interesting. Sesshomaru and Rin were not seen engaging in any bonding whatsoever. There were very few things that Rin knew about Sesshomaru, and he spoke with her very little, never speaking of himself. The only time Rin learned any stories of him was from her father figure and primary caretaker, Jockin.
Most of their bond was through silence, and Sesshomaru intended on protecting Rin at all times, therefore creating a soulful bond where he could always detect her aura and scent, subsequently tying them together. The constant exposure to Rin's sunshine energy had ultimately grown on and tied with Sesshomaru's demonic energy.
I believe Tenseiga took advantage of a serendipitous moment when Inuyasha fatally wounded him and brought him to that particular part of the forest where his meeting Rin would be 100% guaranteed.
Rumiko confirmed that the swords have some form of sentience, which could mean that, since Tenseiga is a sword from beyond this world, it has clairsentience and precognitive capabilities as well. Therefore, it may have predicted what was going to happen to Rin beforehand. Tenseiga was also tasked with helping Sesshomaru on his journey, and Rin may have been chosen by his father's and Tenseiga's will as the person that would change Sesshomaru's life forever and help him learn the necessary lessons. Loving her was not part of the agenda, it was just inevitable.
Rin has exhibited feelings towards Sesshomaru that no one had ever had the opportunity to. She pitied him and wanted to offer him help. She was intent on saving his life. She may have even empathized with him in her own ways.
Their relationship began in an unusual scenario for Sesshomaru, where he did all of the talking because she was mute, and he was immobile and vulnerable. Sesshomaru engaged her, asking her about her bruises, and against his own judgment, showing concern for her, which made her smile, because it made her feel like her efforts were worthwhile. To Rin, Sesshomaru was showing concern for her, therefore signifying the existence of a friendship. This is why Rin felt it would be best to run to Sesshomaru when her life was in danger.
I also believe this particular scene was important because it seems to signify that Rin sensed that Sesshomaru had left that forest and she would surely meet her end. I have a sneaking suspicion, and always have, that Rin is highly empathic and has an unbelievably strong soul. This is likely another reason that she is compared to Kagome.
The first time she was revived, the moment she opened her eyes, they exchanged a soul gaze, which harmonizes the energy between two people. They maintained deep eye contact for nearly half a minute. There were no words. Rin had no opportunity to say thank you, and Sesshomaru asked her no questions. They said all that was needed to be said through their silence.
When Rin lost her life for the second time, and Sesshomaru's mother released her soul from the Meido, they exchanged a soul gaze once again, but this one was much deeper and far more emotional, signifying the growth between their bond. It was also noticeable that her soul was incredibly large as it was released from the underworld. I don't believe that was done for theatrics. Like Kagome, her soul was large and powerful. That's why Kana couldn't hold Kagome's soul in her mirror. Sesshomaru seems like a demon who may not consider physical attraction at all, especially not to a human. I firmly believe his fondness and closeness to Rin was based entirely on a spiritual connection. Sesshomaru bases his companionship on the deep spiritual bond he shares with the other. He can even be considered spiritually connected to Jockin, as he will cry and show gratitude in his stead, and they appear to have a telepathic connection as well. Sesshomaru's love for Rin's soul ultimately caused his love for her smile, her face, the sound of her voice, and everything on the surface level.
When Rin died in the underworld, Sesshomaru's soul experienced such sadness. It transcended through his connection with Jockin, who not only cried for himself, but wept with emotions Sesshomaru felt. When she was revived, the joy he felt was also a sense of wholeness.
What he thought was a choice to let her tag along, and a promise to protect his follower, was truly a desire to be with her forever, as she desired with him. Rin put forth a strong vibration of love and adoration towards Sesshomaru. I'm sure a demon, especially one as strong as him, could read the heart and soul of a human. which is why, in his drama CD proposal, he mentions the trust between them and how their hearts are tied because their feelings were mutual. I often wonder what their exchange was like when he agreed to leave Rin in the village with Kaede. His constant leaving her in a safe space to await his return was often a test of a heart and loyalty, much like her choice to follow him. Every journey of deep, intertwined spiritual love, much like twin flames, involves tests and times of separation before a union can occur. In retrospect, this could lead one to believe that Sesshomaru and Rin are twin flames, but I don't know if I believe a full-fledged demon and human could be twin flames. I believe demons would have more control over their own destiny, but their relationship certainly mimics the twin flame experience, and I think the way their hearts are intertwined is beautiful.